Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 125-115 win against the Miami Heat. Now tonight, the Miami Heat always seem to give the Raptors a bit of trouble. You know, they always play us tough. They have a very solid team. They don't have any true superstars, but you know, they're a very solid Eastern Conference team despite their record, and the Toronto Raptors came out today and just bullied the Miami Heat. Now, for most of this game, we were up pretty big. We had a stranglehold on this game for a long while, and then at the end, obviously Miami made a little run, made it a bit closer, but it never looked like they were getting. I wasn't really worried watching this game. So it was great to see the Toronto Raptors play an end-to-end game, winning this one and playing really well. And I know there's a lot of people that are going to start, rave about Kawhi Leonard's play, and I'm going to get into him in a bit. But the player that really stood out to me, who really just put his impact on the game, was Kyle Lowry. 12 points and 10 assists tonight. You'd think that's a poor game for Kyle Lowry, but he started this game and really set the tone for the Toronto Raptors. He was making beautiful pass after beautiful pass, really threading the needle, throwing those over the top, little lobs to Jonas and Kawhi. It was a phenomenal sight to see. The whole game, all the Miami Heat were worried about was trying to stop Kyle Lowry from setting people up. He only had 10 assists. I thought he could have went for 20, it felt like, but Kyle Lowry just had full control over this game, and this is what we want to see out of Kyle Lowry. We don't really care about the box score numbers being huge or small because that will come and go. But we want him to. He's our leader in the sense that the team is going to play as well as Kyle Lowry plays. He's our engine. He's our bulldog. Kawhi's our best player, and he plays well, and he gets us going with buckets and steals and all that sort of stuff. I'm not saying Kyle Lowry's as good as Kawhi Leonard, but Kyle Lowry sets the tone for this team, and when he's engaged, he's involved, he's setting everybody up. That's when our team plays at the best, and that's what we saw out of the team tonight. I was really happy with how the Toronto Raptors played, and a lot of that has to do with Lowry. Now, I mentioned Kawhi. Kawhi came out ready to go tonight. 29 points, 10 rebounds, and just wasn't holding anything back. He was, we saw Kawhi use his strength, he was bullying Rodney McGruger, James Johnson, whoever was on that team. They have some solid wing defenders on the Miami Heat, and he was making them look like rag dolls. Kawhi is a big man, and he really used his muscle. He, obviously if for people that don't know, Greg Popovich kind of threw some shade at him in the media today, so he was motivated. Kawhi was motivated to come out and really show what he got tonight, and unfortunately for the Miami Heat, wing defenders, they got the most of it, and he was getting to the rim at will. He was hitting those mid-range shots. He hit a few threes. Great to see. Great to see Kawhi attacking the rim. He got 12 free throws. Really, really great to see him motivated, just have that drive, and hopefully he'll get back in more of a game groove. Obviously, he's been out with resting and all that sort of thing, so just see him engaged, see him focused and all that. Phenomenal look for the Toronto Raptors. Hopefully he continues to keep it up with our tough schedule coming up. And Pascal Siakam, my goodness. He's continuing to play like an all-star. He's playing out here out of his mind. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 8 for 9 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3. Pascal has he's been off the charts this season. I can't believe what he's been able to accomplish, how better he's been getting. His footwork, his body control, his will to attack the rim, and obviously we all know about his running and stuff, but his just control, it's absolutely ridiculous. He's in the paint, and there's 3 guys on him, and he just spins through everyone. It's some of the, it's Hakeem Olajuwon-esque, his footwork in the paint. It's improved so dramatically from when he was a rookie, and even last season. His finishing around the rim, he takes these very tough shots, and just gets them to go in every time. He doesn't travel, he doesn't turn over the ball. So I'm very impressed with Pascal tonight. He continues to bust out these spin moves, which are wild to see. He got a couple blocks as well. Defensively, he's having an impact. Pascal Siakam is really making a name for himself in the NBA right now, and it's really fun to watch his come up, his grind, as he's on the rise to being one of those household names in the NBA. So shout out to Pascal Siakam. We say it on every pod. He improves with every game. So I'm just been overwhelmed with how great he's been. And hopefully with our tougher schedule, he continues to do it against the top tier teams in the NBA. And Jonas got the start tonight. He always loves going against Hassan Whiteside. We can look back at that playoff series before he got hurt. He was just eating Hassan all the time. And, it was the same case tonight. He was aggressive on the rebounds. He was down low in the paint, 8 for 10 from the field, 17 points, 10 rebounds. Jonas came to play. He's engaged, looking for the ball, and this is the great thing about the rotating starting lineup, because the Heat have Bam Adebayo and Hassan Whiteside in their front court, who are both pretty substantially bigger than Serge Ibaka. Serge is naturally a power forward in the league, but in 2018 he's a center. But Bam and Hassan on the Miami Heat are legit 7-footers and would outsize Serge Ibaka for the most part, especially on the rebounds and that sort of thing. So to have two primetime starting centers, so for nights like this when we can throw Jonas, who plays really well against these big lumbering guys, and then have Serge come off the bench, it's such a luxury to have as a Raptors fan, for the Raptors to have so many assets, especially at the center position. And, just shout out to Jonas for holding his own, taking out Hassan Whiteside. Hassan really didn't have a good game. 2 points, 5 rebounds. That's really unfortunate for the Miami Heat, how much money they're playing him. Bam Adebayo looks a lot better than Hassan Whiteside, in my opinion. Shout out to Bam. He had 16 points and 21 rebounds. 21 rebounds. That's some Bismack Biyombo playoff stuff right there. So got to give credit where credit is due. He had a really good game, and in my opinion, I know it's tough to bench a guy. Hassan only had 12 minutes tonight, and Bam played 36. But I know it's tough to bench a guy with that much money. But I'd throw Bam in the starting lineup if I was the Miami Heat, because he's every time I watch them play. I've watched a few Heat games this year. Bam always seems to be more energetic, more. Look like more of a modern-day center with his bigger size and more athleticism, more mobile. Hassan just looks kind of out of it most times. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. We'll swing it back to the Raptors side of things. Let me know what you think of the big man matchup. That's always a fun watch when the Heat play the Toronto Raptors. They always seem to go at it. But, yeah, and the bench was pretty solid tonight as well. I got to give credit. CJ Miles came out, hit a couple threes. The one CJ takes, you can tell when CJ's going to make a shot and not make a shot. He looks comfortable at times, and then other times it looks like he's kind of fading, leaning. If he can just get that consistent shots, get those consistency on, having his feet set, taking an extra dribble or anything. But when CJ's hitting shots, it does so much for the mob. That's why the Toronto Raptors went on that second quarter-ish run where we started to build our lead, because CJ hit a couple threes. It's a very motivating factor. It's what Danny Green usually does in the starting lineup, having a guy that can stroke it down. But if he can do that on a consistent basis for the bench, that'd be such a great sight for this team. DeLon Wright played very well tonight. 10 points, 4 rebounds, only 1 assist. But, obviously he's been a big fan of Dwayne Wade. DeLon Wright's brother, Darrell Wright, played with the Miami Heat for a while, and DeLon grew up a D-Wade fan. So it's a cool sight, have him playing well against D-Wade in D-Wade's final season. So I'm glad he had a good game. Hit a couple threes as well. DeLon hitting threes, always a good sign. And Fred, he's getting back in the swing of things. Last game was probably his best game of the season, in my opinion. But 10 points, 4 assists from Fred. Nothing too crazy. Didn't take over the game as we'd like to see a bit more from Fred. Didn't have that complete control, but nonetheless, hit a 3, was hitting some shots. I was happy with Fred's performance tonight. Had a few more turnovers than I would have liked, but he's just getting back in the swing of things. Hopefully, he can go back to the Fred VanVleet of last season on a consistent basis. And and then the other players that didn't have the best nights up to their regular standards. OG, only 4 points, 4 personal fouls. He got kind of those rookie second-year calls because he was matched up against Dwayne Wade a lot of the night, and Dwayne Wade had it going. He had a flashback season, no pun intended, but he was looking like the Flash tonight. He had Dwayne Wade. We'll get into him after, but OG kind of fell for a few of his tricks, and foul trouble really hurt OG's performance tonight. And Serge Ibaka, I mentioned it. It's tough for him to go against the big lumbering big men, but 8 points, 7 rebounds, hit a few mid-range jumpers, which was great, but it is a tough matchup for Serge. It's more of an old school game. This is where Serge would usually be a power forward, but regardless, really good night for the Toronto Raptors. All around team win. Lowry was dominant. Siakam played really well. Danny Green 0 for 4 from 3 tonight, but always gives it to you on the defensive end, so you don't even mind. Nonetheless, Toronto Raptors played a really good game. End-to-end victory. It was great to see, and we're going to have some challenging games coming up, but let's swing it straight into the segments, because tonight's Kawhi, you do him like that play of the day. It's a wild one tonight. Pascal Siakam at the beginning of the game, just absolutely owned Hassan Whiteside it was a thrunk. It looked like a thrunk out there. Siakam was doing his 2012 Blake Griffin impression, getting in the air, rising up and throwing down the ball. Oh my God. Siakam got some ups, man. He got some athleticism. Really, really nice to see a nasty yam like that. Definitely when a player on the Toronto Raptors does that to a Miami Heat player or any player on any team, you're definitely getting the Kawhi you do him like that play of the day. So shout out to Pascal Siakam. Nasty dunk. We want to see some more of that. Gets us hyped as Raptors fans. But not all plays could be the Kawhi you do him like that play of the day. And some just make you say, oh, geez. And tonight, the oh, geez play of the day, it's not going to Raptors. We had such a good Kawhi you do him like that play of the day. I said we get into him after. Dwayne Wade, obviously in his final season, he had a ridiculous night tonight. I mentioned it. He's looking like the old Flash out there. 35 points for Dwayne Wade, 6 assists and 5 rebounds, 13 of 22 shooting, 4 threes for the guy. The guy really looked like his former All-Star self out there. He's always had good games against the Toronto Raptors. He ate up our bench, but that's how it goes when you got a former Hall of Fame, not a former Hall of Famer, a guy that's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer, former All-Star, doing that to the bench mob. So shout out to Dwayne Wade. He's had a phenomenal career. I know we play the Heat a few more times this season, so it's definitely not the last time we're going to see him, but this probably is the last time we're going to see him do a game like this. Now, maybe he'll turn it up against the Raptors again, but it's always fun to see Dwayne Wade get going, and especially when the Raptors have a lead, so it's less heartbreaking. So I was happy. Made me say, oh, geez, as a Raptors fan. He's got some crazy moves still in his bag. Those little fakes, the pump fakes, the minor flops. He's a quality NBA player, quality NBA vet. Shout out to Dwayne Wade. Nasty performance for him tonight. Anyways, finally, we gotta bring it to the infamous DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award. And tonight, it's going to our future Hall of Famer, Kawhi Leonard. And it's not going to him. It's going to the refs because he went in for a drive tonight, and it was the most blatant no call I ever seen. It ended up getting Kawhi technical, and the call is bad when Kawhi Leonard gets a technical. Usually he's pretty mild mannered on the court, but it was ridiculous. He got hacked out of midair, and the refs didn't call a foul. They called out of bounds on the Raptors, which is absurdly ridiculous. So people that listen to the podcast, they know I don't like to, beat up on the refs. They don't ruin the games, and obviously I'm not even saying that tonight. But that's a bad no call. That one's a rough one. You can't do that. You can pull up some rec league referees, and they'll call that 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10. So DeMarre Carroll Gold Star going to that one play tonight. That was my take on it. But anyways, the Raptors handled their business against the Miami Heat tonight, did what they're supposed to do. Luckily no one got injured like the final game of the regular season last year. Wasn't as chippy as that one. But, Raptors came to play, handled their business, beat up on the Miami Heat. That's what we like to see. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of this game, Dwayne Wade's performance, Pascal Siakam being a nasty beast he is, any sort of stuff, leave it in the comment section below. And before we finish, I want to say, if you guys want some, so I've been making shout outs in the past few pods, and we're still getting comments on that Bradley Beal video. So I spotted a few of them today, so I'm going to shout them out now. I'm sorry if I miss anyone on that podcast, whatever, but if you want a shout out for like a for sure one from here on out, like DM the Instagram. That's because the comment section, I try and pick up as many as I can, but the Instagram I'm usually pretty good at checking and remembering, and if I miss anyone and you want another one, I apologize if I miss your name. I want to give you guys show us so much love. You guys, comment, you subscribe, you watch, which we really appreciate. So we're trying to get some more fan engagement. So I want to give as many shout outs as I can to you guys. So definitely, if I miss you in the comment section, DM me on the Instagram. If you want a for sure one, DM us on the Instagram. That's going to be the prime time place to get your shout out. Anyways, I'm giving it to a shout out to Albert Gorman. Shout out to you, my guy. Ben Colson, I believe that's how you say that. Shout out to Ben, quality first name out there. And Duncan T. Law. Shout out to 3 of you guys. That's those are the 3 names I saw that hit us up. So shout out to you for supporting 3 of those names. Everyone that's listening right now, you're the best. You guys are the GOATs for making it this far. as I mentioned, comment below, check out the Instagram, the Twitter, all that cool stuff. I'm signing off. Cheers.